Hello. Good evening, PMC. How y'all doing? All right, a little PMC exercise, because I hate lines and I hate running late. But, you know, there are people going to dinner. They're going to be coming in. Tell them we got lots of seats on this side. Thank you very much. Welcome. Welcome. I'm Billy Starr, founder and executive director of the PMC. Thank you all for being back here for the best weekend of the year. At 6:55, we will transition to WBZ's live one-hour show, hosted by Lisa Hughes and David Wade. Please remain seated during that brief shuffle. I want to begin by sharing a 45-year-old story that influenced the tone and culture of the PMC. In 1976, I set off to hike 400 miles in Maine and New Hampshire on the Appalachian Trail. Accompanying me was Dave Hellman, who's now PMC Director of Operations, and 23-year rider Kenny Schulman. I could tell a lot of stories about what happened in the month, but let me set the stage for one story with this. In an era before cell phones, the web, or accurate long-term weather projections, we went off to walk 110 miles of wilderness, and it rained nonstop for 8 days. Now, of course, on a daily basis, we had no idea what the next day would bring. So we semi-cheerily and borderline hypothermic packed up our gear and headed south. We met only about 10 people in that month, and we had begun the hike at Mount Katahdin on May 15th, 1976, in an era where ice out did not occur until after Memorial Day. Right, there's no global warming, right? But the seminal theme, aside from the bone-chilling 48-degree rain, was that of the kindness of strangers who enabled us to soldier on with gestures of food, clothing, or encouragement. That impression never left me. And when I created the PMC, I was sure to blend a physical challenge with a support system that would enable a successful biking experience. The results have been more dramatic than I could have anticipated at that time. The rider-volunteer synergy is part of this heart and engine that makes the PMC ride. And the acts of kindness passing back and forth between riders and volunteers are ubiquitous throughout the weekend. So it's no surprise every year that your survey responses indicate that this life-affirming experience is to the core of your PMC weekend and one of the reasons you return. That is why I'm fond of pointing out that the PMC weekend is the best of human nature on display. The volunteers bend over backwards to facilitate a safe and smart weekend, and the riders say thank you, verbally, with hugs, and by raising astounding amounts of money to forward our Closer by the Mile mantra of a world without cancer. That is the PMC. Now, my State of the Union address. The PMC Winter Cycle kicked off our $52 million campaign in January at Fenway Park. We tripled attendance and fundraising from previous years. Here's a quick look back.
Families come from across the country, from across the world, just for treatments that only Dana-Farber offers, and that's primarily funded by events like this.
There's nothing we do in here that's more important, more inspiring than what you're doing here today.
I think everyone should be a part of it. Everyone's touched by cancer in some way. It's like an inspiring event.
The Kids Rides program, presented by the Yawkey Foundation, incorporates 34 rides and 5,000 kids. I can report that the youngest generation is embracing PMC values of health and giving back. Children 3 to 12, with input from some 20,000 parents and grandparents, will hopefully raise a record $900,000 through the fall. MFS has been a corporate sponsor for 20 years in a variety of capacities, which currently include the Provincetown finishes and this year's cycling socks to match your jersey. The Pedal Partner program is comprised of 104 Jimmy Fund Clinic pediatric oncology patients with more than 2,000 riders, and for the first time will be sponsored by MFS.
The Pedal Partner program partners you with a child from Dana-Farber that is going through chemotherapy or some sort of treatment. And there's a particular stop on the first day. As you're pedaling into the stop, there are pictures of children along the way. And it's a very emotional experience. You see a child that's going through what is a very difficult experience. What it really does, it makes cancer real. The PMC has been an amazing experience for me and for the MFS riders. I can't imagine not doing it.
PMC Day at Fenway Park took place June 9th. For the 15th straight year, our logo was up on the Green Monster, and it is again this weekend. The Red Sox appear to be posting record numbers, and we expect to do the same. The Red Sox Foundation has been a co-presenting sponsor since 2003, and we are 13-2 on PMC Day at Fenway Park. I also want to acknowledge co-presenting sponsor New Balance and its CEO, Rob DeMartini, who will ride for his 12th consecutive year. Under his leadership, New Balance has elevated the look and design of our merchandise steadily throughout the years. New Balance and the Red Sox Foundation lead a peloton of some 200 corporate sponsors who for the 13th consecutive year have enabled us to donate 100% of rider-raised fundraising. That's a strong team and a powerful message to share with your sponsors and donors. This year, new sponsors include Bay State Physical Therapy, Berkshire Bank, Cumberland Farms, Deloitte, Kirkland & Ellis, Lifetime, Primo Water, and Tesoro. This year, our sponsors are responsible for a record $7 million in cash and in-kind product. And most of these sponsors also ride and or volunteer. Thank you to you all. Got to go off script. A new record of 6,340 riders registered this year, including 1,320 first-time riders. we have a record 4,560 riding to Provincetown and over 4,000 volunteers. Alumni comprise 79% of the entire ridership, who themselves average 8 years of riding. You won't find that level of commitment anywhere in the world. Also, 31% of all riders are women. There are 188 25-plus year riders, and 63 are 30-plus year riders. If you're a 25-year rider plus, stand up. Stand up and take a bow. More than 900 riders are 60 or older, and 125 riders are 70 plus. 10 riders are 80 or older, including Ronald Brown, 82, J. Kent McHose, 80, both riding Sturbridge to Provincetown, as well as our oldest rider, 85-year-old George Johnson, riding Wellesley to Bourne. If you're 70 or older, stand up and take a bow. On the other end of the spectrum, we have 156 riders 20 or under, including 30 15-year-olds. Just think about this, youngsters. In 70 years, you will have PMC bragging rights. I want to, for the first time, acknowledge 3-generation families. Quite frankly, we don't really have the data on it, but we'll include it in the future. But I'll read a letter from 38-year rider Charlie Larson, which will serve as flavor for this special group. And I quote, "In 1988, our 16-year-old daughter, Laura, joined me in the next few years. She was joined by Erica, our youngest, and David, who was our reason for riding in the first place. All 3 kids have now ridden for 10 or more years, even though the girls took a few years off to have kids of their own. Despite his father's advice, or because of it, David still rides the event on a 25-year-old mountain bike. And I'm pleased to say he only has to wait for me occasionally. Last year, we had 3 generations of Larsons riding in the event from Sturbridge. What a thrill it was to draft behind Claire, my oldest granddaughter, on the windy part of the approach into Provincetown. Now I have to ride again this year because I have the chance to ride with 2 daughters and 2 granddaughters. The Larsons are here tonight. And can they and anyone else who is a 3-generation family stand up and take a bow? Where are the Larsons? Last year, 2,021 riders achieved heavy hitter status. This year, the threshold is $8,000, and for that, you will receive a gift of a New Balance Precision vest. Very nice. You want that vest. Another measure of our culture and commitment is how far people will travel to be a part of the PMC. So I want to recognize riders from 9 countries outside the U.S. 1 rider each from Israel, Kenya, Switzerland, China, and France. 2 from Jamaica. 3 from Bermuda, Canada, and the United Kingdom. Thank you for your efforts. And if you are coming here, why don't you guys stand up for you people who've come from far, who are still willing to come into this country. Back in the U.S., PMCers come from a record 43 states in the District of Columbia. Hold your applause, sort of, okay? 1 from the states of Alaska, Hawaii, North Dakota, Oklahoma, and Oregon. 2 from Delaware, Indiana, Kentucky, Louisiana, Minnesota, Montana, New Mexico, and West Virginia. 3 from Wisconsin and Wyoming. 4 from Arizona, South Carolina, and Utah. 5 from Missouri and Nevada. 6 from Tennessee, big election. 7 in Texas. 8 in Michigan. 9 from Ohio. 10 from Washington. 13 from North Carolina. 14 from Georgia. 16 from the District of Columbia. 22 from Vermont. 23 from Illinois. 28 from Colorado, 33 from Maine, 35 from Florida, 37 from Virginia, 43 from Maryland, 53 from Pennsylvania, 68 from New Jersey, 88 from California, 136 from Rhode Island, 201 from New Hampshire, Connecticut, New York, battling it out. 257 from Connecticut, 284 from New York, and 4,784 from the great state of Massachusetts. All right. Here's some new information. 4,900 of you told us where you went to college. So here are the top 10 college of PMC participation. 50, but be sure to get it in next year. 55 from University of Pennsylvania. 56 from Tufts. 58 from Providence. 59 from Dartmouth. 66 from the University of New Hampshire. 94 from Harvard. 102 from BU. 109 from UL. 136 from Northeastern, and 173 from Boston College. And speaking of the best and the brightest, each year the number of Dana-Farber staff who ride and volunteer grows. This year, there are 155 Dana-Farber staff members riding.
We have made many exciting advances in the past year as a result of your generosity. us at Dana-Farber, thank you so much for your tremendous support.
If you're a Dana-Farber rider, please stand up. Please stand up. All right. We love that you're here, but come Monday, get back in the labs. Some new innovations that will have immediate impact this weekend we need you to pay attention to. Last year, we attempted to provide riders with tagged photos of themselves. We achieved moderate success. This year, be sure to apply the sticker to your helmet to get your tagged PMC weekend photos. Your photos will be available immediately following the weekend and fully delivered by mid-August via app, email, or profile page, and discoverable by name, e-gift ID, or team ID. Sorry. Thank you to Photo Butler. Primo Water has become our official water. They're providing high-quality, eco-friendly water at every water stop and hub sites. This means we will eliminate 72,000 plastic single-serve disposable water bottles. Now, this requires one major behavioral modification from those sleeping at MMA on the MMA campus. Treat your water bottle like your cell phone. Carry 2 bottles on your bike and fill them and carry them with you when you go to retire for the evening. Thank you. Further good news, bike parking has moved closer to the main quad on the football field where we haven't been for 15 years since they put new turf up. All right? So an easier walk. For those lodging in PMC tents, they can be found at the Beachmore, 100 yards due north, where they've been in the past. But golf cart service will run all day to and from the Beachmore and the main quad. Also at MMA, the Summer Shack will provide a traditional New England seafood boil. And lastly, for the 1,000 people on the 3 p.m. party ferry, Yasso is ensuring that the party portion is front and center by bringing the highly acclaimed band Legends of Summer to the upper deck. Thank you, Yasso. All right. Our living proof community of riders and volunteers has grown to 901 people. These 901 riders and volunteers embody the tangible progress in the fight against cancer made possible through our collective commitment to the PMC. The photo and toast that takes place in both Wellesley and Bourne have become a strong and emotional PMC tradition. This year, 27-year rider Richard Burkitts will join me from Miami, for giving the toast at MMA. I would like to tell you about 3 members of the Living Proof community. Please hold your applause until the end. Dr. Heidi Fisher, an eye surgeon, was used to being the person in the white coat, not the hospital gown. In 2010, she was diagnosed with pancreatic neuroendocrine cancer, so rare that it makes up only 2% of all pancreatic cancers. All that time, the only surgical treatment was the removal of the tumor. Now, due to research and clinical trials at Dana-Farber, Dr. Fisher takes an oral medication and is successfully living with cancer. She's riding 2 days with her team, Heidi's Heroes. Bill Snapper will be riding for the 30th consecutive year. But this year, his son Eric, who just turned 30, will be joining him for the first time. In 2012, Bill was diagnosed with prostate cancer. But I'm pleased to report that as of now, Bill is officially 5 years cancer-free. Last year was a whirlwind for third-year riding Brittany Tatton. She was just engaged when her world was temporarily derailed. Brittany was diagnosed with breast cancer in June 2017, 1 week after her 33rd birthday and 4 months out from her wedding date. Despite her diagnosis, Brittany and her now husband, Will, never doubted that the wedding would go on as planned. Her medical team aggressively attacked the cancer, selecting Brittany to participate in a study that used a direct form of chemo to shrink the tumor, followed by surgery to remove it. Her treatment schedule continued through the summer, and through friends and family though friends told her to defer riding the PMC, Brittany refused to be benched and rode Sturbridge to Provincetown as a new member of the PMC Living Proof community. This year, she's riding once again. Everybody has a story. Heidi, Bill, and Brittany are living proof that your fundraising impacts the lives of cancer patients in the PMC family and all over the world. Bill and Brittany are here tonight. Would you both please stand up? And now, if you are part of the 901 Living Proof, stand up. My last thoughts to share with you all are the following. Be safe, treat each other well, have a great PMC weekend. Thank you all very much. Now, talk amongst yourselves and don't move while we get ready to go live. Thank you again.